What pens do I use? That's the question that I'm asked the most. Frequently asked question. Yeah, you can always ask me. I'm always very amenable to that. What pens do I use? I'm going to tell you right now. Let's go into some materials. Okay, there it is. PIGMA Graphic. Number 1. You can't see it. They're normally written in the end. Number 1. A PIGMA Graphic one. It's about as thick as a felt tip. Give you a nice sort of nice thick line for outlining characters, outlining letters, that kind of thing. It's very, very nice. This is archival ink as well, which means it won't fade, and it's pretty permanent. It's really good stuff. Really good stuff. These are really great pens, these ones. You can get them thinner as well. Get them different size, get them thicker as well. But a number 1 is the one I use for my outside outlining. Okay, if I want to do finer lines, I go to this one. This is the Staedtler, whatever, pigment liner. This is a 0.5. 0.5 is my preferred thickness now. I do have a 0.4 somewhere, but I find 0.5 is pretty standard for everything I use now. I used to use 0.1s and 0.2s back in the day because I had better eyesight, but nowadays I don't really care about that fine detail. I don't get hung up on that anymore. I use the 0.5. There you go, there's the 0.5. That will give you lines sort of like that. Really good. You can taper them, you can fade. Yeah, really, these are great pens. I like these a lot. An alternative to this, if you want to spend a bit more dough, I get through them quite a lot. That's marked in green because I've got loads of them down here, and it's marked in green, so I know which ones the newest ones are. Copics. If you want to spend a bit more, you can get them. You can't always get them where I go because they're very popular, and also they're quite expensive. And frankly, these ones do the job for me. So that's them. So colour, these Stylefile markers, double-ended, thick-ended. There you go. Nice, really nice thick lines. Thin end. Give you nice thin lines. Come in a nice range of different colours. They haven't got a range as big as Copics, and I'd say if you can afford Copics, then buy Copics because they're amazing markers. But they're expensive. They're really expensive. I'm trying to think how much these cost. These are about £3 each. I don't know what that is in dollars nowadays. That's probably about £4.50. Sorry, $4.50. About $4.50 to $5 for one of them. Excuse me. Copics more expensive still, unless you can get them from Japan, in which case you'll get them at a reasonable price because they're much more reasonable over there. But I love these. I really love them. They've got a good enough color range for me. I like the way that they work. I like the amount of pigment they've got in them. I'm just used to them. I like the way they blend. I can blend them nicely and all that sort of stuff, you know. The Stylefile marker, I would totally recommend Stylefile markers, and they're really good. So that's your main colouring tool. Next up, if I want to do finer lines in colour, then I use these things. And these are really good. These are Stabilo 0.88. That's a 0.4. Nice fine nib on that. There you go. That's the sort of result you get from that. You don't get a huge amount of colours, but you don't really need a huge amount of colours. I think they do about 25 colours or something like that in total. I don't use most of them. I probably use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but I probably use about 10 of them. And these do a really nice job. There's only one problem with these, and that is the nib is not very robust. It can knacker quite easily. So expect to go through, if you use these a lot, expect to go through a lot of them. I don't use them that much. I've only had to replace a couple, but that's because you probably notice I only use them for details on on my black book work. I don't use them. I don't do huge amounts of work with them because they're a bit fragile. But they're really good, really good. What else we got? Okay, moving into the paint marker area. Let's talk about the POSCA, because the POSCA is it's been a staple for the writer for forever. I mean, we were using these in the 80s. We're still using them now, and they haven't really changed. Great paint marker. This is the standard size. I can't remember what it's called. There you go. The PC3M. Standard size. There you go. That will give you a line like that. And these are really good, reliable paint pens. Really, really good for your canvas work. These are not the biggest ones you can get. You can get bigger ones than that. In fact, I've got one to set. Here you go. So there's a fat one. That's a fatty. There you go. That will give you a line like that. There you go. And I think I've got a, yeah, I've got another, I've got the size down from that, which is that kind of a line. So that's the biggest one. That's the next one down. And this is the next one. I started with this one because this is the handiest for your canvas work, really. This is the one you'll find yourself using probably most. And if you need to go finer than this one, then they do these ones. And this is the, what's this, PC1M. That's the nib on that one. And that will give you a line, or would give you a line. Oh, there you go. Good thing this might be on its last legs. But it'll give you a line like that, if you can see that. Yeah, nice range of colours, enough for you to do something with, and very reliable. And if you want to go even finer, then they do the extra fine as well. Great for outlining, details, that sort of stuff. There you go, there's your extra fine nib, and that will give you a line like that. Oh yes. And these, I was waiting for years for these to come out. Those lovely fine liners. Yeah, so there's the POSCAs. But if you really want to go super hardcore with a better color range, these, the Molotow 127HS. These are really good, really, really good. They've got an amazing valve system, as is the POSCA, by the way. But this valve system, you can see, you know, you can see how much paint's in there, all that. That will give you a line like, God, that's a bit. This, by the way, you can replace the nib as well. If you take the nib out like that, you can replace it, thankfully, because they do get a bit bashed up. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. There you go. There you go. So that's given me a nice fat line, because that nib, if you can see it, it's quite ragged, because I've done quite a lot of canvas work with it. But I'm going to show you something now. So that's the 127HS. I'm going to write these down at the bottom so you can see them all anyway. These are refills. Look how much paint is in there. I've got loads and loads of refill paint for these. That will keep me going for years. You can see how much paint you get in a whole one of them. One of these will last you quite a long time. So you can imagine how much paint is in there. There's loads of paint in there. And these are refills. These are all refills. So there's that. You can also get empties. What a beauty. Look at them. You get empties, and you can fill them with different colours. You can mix colours. You also get different nibs, extra nibs. You can see I've got nibs in there. I've got extra fines, some fatties as well. It's just stuff I keep up my sleeve for commission work. I very rarely get canvas commission work because it's expensive. If you want to get a canvas off me, it's pricey. You know, they start at about 200 quid. So £200, which is what, $340 or something. You know, that's the starting price, because they take so long. They take ages. So anyway, that's the paint markers and everything. There's the pens. That's the variety of pens I've just been talking about. I'm going to write them all down. They're going to be at the bottom of the screen so you can see them all. And before I finish, I'm just going to show you this again. Now, I put this on a video recently, but in case you didn't see it, I'm using this paper nowadays. Daler-Rowney Smooth Heavyweight 220 GM squared. It is absolutely beautiful paper. Great for commission work, great for blackbook work, super for blending. You get, because it's got a lovely grain, really well made paper. This really, really nice. A lot of commission work I do on that sort of stuff. Or if I'm doing a nice piece of art for something. Or I use this, which is 1000 GSM mounting board. Again, great for blend. Excuse me. Still dying of my cough. 1000 GSM, nice and thick, heavyweight stock. Great for commissions, goes very well in the post, obviously, because it's tough. It's not easy to bend, and that sort of stuff. And this has become my preferred kind of backing of choice. I really love this, working on the white side or working on the darker side. Sometimes it's not as dark as this. Sometimes it's cream on the back, just a creamy colour, so I can work normally on it. Or this, I'd work with pencils, because the darker the surface, the more you can work with pencils. I didn't talk about pencils, did I? I'm just going to show you pencils as well, actually. I use these ones, Caran d'Ache. Now, you know, there's been a lot of talk about pencils over the years in black book circles. The Prismacolor was the one for a long time. The thing is, nowadays, I think it's all the same company, because if you look at this, Prismalow, all that, they're made by Caran d'Ache now. So I think it's all the same company. And I bought another one the other day, which was the Supracolor Soft, because you want them nice and soft. You want them as soft as possible. And again, you've got the Caran, you know, so basically, these are pretty much they're not exactly the same pencil, because this is a Supracolor Soft, so it's softer than this one. And you want the softest ones. The softest ones, the ones with the best pigment, are more expensive. And they are expensive. You've got to be willing to shell out. Don't buy cheap pencils, because they're utter crap. And it's a waste of time. You're spending your money on them at all. If you're going to get pencils, get some really good ones. Get these if you can get them. And they do lots of different types. Supracolor Soft, these are one of the top ones. I'm not sure if they're the absolute best, but these are the best I could get at the time. But get good ones, otherwise you're wasting your time and your money, because cheap ones, I mean, never get any out of a sort of, you know, standard stationer's set or anything like that. They're absolute turd crap. You won't be able to do anything with them all. So that's it. Them there are the pencils, and that's it. Hope that was informative. I'll see you soon.